Welcome to the Good Morning from the Chicken Coop podcast with Kim Johnson, your creative strategist and master mindset coach. Filled with inspiration, distinctions, perspectives, and possibilities, we help you to cultivate a mindset that leads you to create the best version of yourself you could ever imagine. Join Kim every morning from one of her favorite happy places, her chicken coop, along with all her chickens.
Hey everybody, good morning from the chicken coop. If you hear some weird sounds in the background, it might not just be the chickens today, because apparently we have a wild peacock that has shown up in our neighborhood, and boy is he loud. I always thought I wanted a peacock until one showed up, and now I'm like, oh, maybe not. Anyway, if you hear it, that's what that strange sound is. Okay, so today we are talking about gratitude practices. And I think this is such an interesting subject because we're told you should practice gratitude. And I agree. I 100% agree that we should practice gratitude. The challenge that I have with it is that it often becomes a to-do item on the list where you just have to run it, do it, check it off, and move on. And I find that to be the most difficult part for myself and for my clients. Over the years, I've changed mine, and I'm going to teach you this today because I think it's important to understand some distinctions about it and that you can be successful with it. But what I just witness with my clients often is they will, people that come and do coaching and listen to this kind of stuff tend to be the people who will throw themselves into being consistent and forever learners. When you're a forever learner, you're always taking in more information and you hear different things, and then you try different things out, and then they get disappointed with themselves because they can't keep up with what the person is telling them. So often gratitude is a subject because it is a key. It is an absolute key piece of the puzzle to success and to long-term well-being. And there are many different, just like there are many different diets in the world, there are many different ways to go about practicing gratitude. Now, I have tried a lot of them. I won't say I've tried all of them. I have tried a lot of them. And for me, most of them didn't work because I can't just go ahead and put something on a piece of paper in the morning and put something on a piece of paper at night and then for the rest of the day forget about it. It just doesn't work. The way my brain is wired, it just doesn't work for me. I feel like I'm just checking off a box. And I often tell a story about a family member who used to wear a What Would Jesus Do necklace and read the Bible every morning, and then she would leave and then be dreadful to people and then come back at night and read her Bible. And I always felt like the hypocrisy of that was just too much for my heart to bear. And this reminds me of that. So when you are not practicing gratitude throughout the day, you lose sight of what it really means to practice gratitude. And the small stuff, you've heard so many people who have said, don't miss the small stuff. Look for the small things. Look for all the great little things that you see all day and can experience all day. And I could not be in more agreement of that. I think that is a key, essential tool, if you will, to human psychological well-being. You have to stop multiple times throughout your day. So my practice for gratitude was developed because I absolutely needed to settle down. I have a brain that runs very fast. I'm all over the place. I still do. Even with everything that I know and all the training I have a coach. I have to practice this because this is something that is a big deal for me. My brain runs 100 miles an hour. As my husband would happily tell you, he'll say, why are we talking about this now? Because you're thinking too far ahead, or you're doing this, or you're doing this. And it's true. I have a very hard time organically staying in the moment. So practicing mindfulness, if you've ever practiced mindfulness or attempted to practice mindfulness, which is what it is for me, I attempt to practice mindfulness. It's really just being in the moment. It's being wholly present in the moment you're in and not having your body being doing something and your hands being doing something, but your mind being in 10 different directions, like a whirling dervish out there all over the place. It's hard. Mindfulness is very, very hard, and it's something that we have to constantly practice, and it's something that I work on every single day. Without fail, no matter what, I do work on it, because for me, I have made that as important as hygiene, brushing my teeth, taking a shower, it's just as important. Cleaning my brain, that is just as important. If I'm willing to take a shower and brush my teeth, I've got to be willing to do something for my brain. So for me, mindfulness is part of it. But how I get there is a little different. So think of it this way. Instead of just being in the moment and looking around and saying, okay, here I am, here's a tree, here's the ground, here are my shoes, here's this. If that just felt like I was disconnected still, just because I noticed little things didn't mean I had any emotion around it. And as someone who's emotional, we all are, just didn't feel right to me. So I started infusing my mindfulness with gratitude. Meaning every time I saw something, I could pour into that and say I was grateful for it. Like, for instance, I could be grateful for toothpaste. I mean, what an amazing little thing that somebody came up with. Or a paper clip. I mean, really, pause and think about how cool a paper clip is. We just use them and we don't even think about them. But it's actually, someone actually invented that. You look at that, it's pretty cool. Or what nature has for us everywhere. Flowers that show up randomly when you're walking. Something that grew through the sidewalk always amazes me, and I have such, I think admiration is probably the best word for this seed that never gave up, and it just found its way right through the most difficult thing that it possibly could, concrete, and here it is. But I'm talking like every little thing that you can think of. I'm grateful that I can buy food. I'm grateful that I can get, time with my family. My chickens, grateful that I have these amazing creatures that I get to spend time with in the coop. But also every time I go pick up an egg out of the coop, I can say, I'm so grateful for these eggs. I'm so grateful for the time that I get to spend with my chickens and watching them grow and seeing them hatch their own eggs and having the babies around. I'm grateful that I get to be able to free range them and let them have a great life in the space that we're in. All little tiny things. It doesn't matter. Pine cones. I don't care what you find. And I said pine cones because I'm out in their chicken coop and I see pine cones all over the ground. It doesn't matter. You can have gratitude for any little tiny thing if you pause and just think about it. And part of this practice is in the pause as well, because before you actually create a reaction or a response, we're hoping you're going towards the response part, you have to pause. And if you've done any of research, you understand then that breath, in that one breath moment, you can catch yourself and say, okay, what's the direction I want to go? What do I want to feel? And I'm just telling you, that's the moment where you say, I can be grateful for this, or I am grateful for this, or I'm so excited about this. Work your way towards acknowledging those tiny, tiny things and develop this gratitude practice, and I promise you, your days will change. And fewer things will irritate you, my friends, and better things will come your way, because the more thoughtful you are in your gratitude, the more grateful you are about things, the more flows into your life. So practice, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.